Yeah.
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 Finish, yeah. Done. Yeah. WLR. I'm finished fucking with y'all. Put that on my mom. Over this land I run law. Dictate on all y'all. Finished fucking with y'all. Put that on my mom. Over this land I run law. Dictate on all y'all. Finished fucking with y'all. Put that on my mom. Over this land I run law. Dictate on all y'all. Finished fucking with y'all. Put that on my mom. Over this land I run law. Dictate on all y'all. Finished fucking with y'all. Put that on my mom. I keep it 100, I ball. Like Chamberlain, 7 feet tall. These willies acting like big heads. Walking around with no balls. Call me Chino Commando. Like I'm walking around with no draws. Leave a cutie pie with a throat pie. When she jabbering jaws. I'm flabbergasted how they flap gums. It's all hotter in steam window fog. I'm mortified how I reached out. Then they looking just dead at my palm. No, it's no crumb snatching, bums be a bra. Money making Saquon. No, it's no backstabbing, hoes near the dawn. To break sabotage. Now the vision in my head clear as crystal skulls. Without the mirages. Now I'm so up, I don't do withdrawals. Only deposits. I'm in a real estate with my real estate homie. The back in the prizes. Finished fucking with y'all. Put that on my mom. Over this land I run law. Dictate on all y'all. Finished fucking with y'all. Put that on my mom. Over this land I run law. Dictate on all y'all. Finished fucking with y'all. Put that on my mom. Over this land I run law. Dictate on all y'all. Finished fucking with y'all. Put that on my mom. Over this land I run law. Dictate on all y'all.
I'm only young and she like it. Can't be making no love, I one night it. My chain be shining the brightest. Niggas be talking, get touched like it's Midas. Bitch, I stay fresh as Febreze. Want me to fall, you get blown with the leaves. Work for it all, ain't get nothing for free. Say I'm a dog, trap jumping like fleas. I been chillin' in the club with a big stack. About to break your bitch off like a Kit Kat. I don't fuck with you frauds, nigga, get back. Told you that nigga going hard and I meant that. Now the nigga said I wouldn't be shit. Niggas say facts, no thesis. Feeling like a god, no from me. Yes, bet these niggas follow me like Jesus. I been getting to my cash for real. Blunts to the head like an Advil. Titties look good, how the ass feel. Nigga steady dripping like a bad still. Whoa, wait a minute. Want my name in their mouths like a dentist. Nigga keep a rack, I ain't playing no tennis. I don't need y'all, little nigga, I'm in it. Now I'm finished, and let's get it.
Finished fucking with y'all. Put that on my mom. Over this land I run law. Dictate on all y'all. Finished fucking with y'all. Put that on my mom. Over this land I run law. Dictate on all y'all. Finished fucking with y'all. Put that on my mom. Over this land I run law. Dictate on all y'all. Finished fucking with y'all. Put that on my mom. Over this land I run law. Dictate on all y'all.
What's good, YouTube? We back with another episode of the TrakWolf Godcast. I know what time it is when we get into the most recent subjects and topics of the news going on in the world today. But what we just introduced was my man Chino Bliss' new current song out, On My Mama. I swear to God, I'm gonna light you on fire.
Hey, nah.
So I'm gonna let everybody introduce themselves on the panel today.
You already know this Savage the producer, and it's that Savage shit.
Year 89, it's your boy Chino Bliss, Charlottesville, VA representative.
Let's get it. Today we're gonna be talking about manifestation. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna try to break it down a little bit for y'all as far as what it means, and then we're gonna give y'all a little bit of examples as far as like how it affected us in our lives and what kind of examples we can give y'all to show a little bit of proof about how it works. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be mindful of your do's and don'ts. You know what I'm saying? When finessing this lifestyle. So with that being said, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna let our guest, you know what I'm saying, Chino spark it off with a little bit about how manifestation helped him with his music rise and his life journey.
Yeah, actually, I like the way you put that, man. I actually became aware about manifesting through music. I was making music, and that's really the first time in my life I could hear myself talking while I wasn't talking myself. So I got a perspective on how other people heard me compared to how I thought I sounded, how I really was compared to how I was presenting myself. And also, over time, and it didn't take much time, maybe like a year, I got to see, 2 years, I got to see that my music and the words that I said and how I said them reflected my life without me even consciously trying. And my life just so happened to be at that time, at the time, I'm gonna put it like this, like I grew up listening to street stuff, so, and I grew up in street environments, so that's what I adapted to be, and that's what I adapted to want to be, and that's the only perspective I had, so that's what I spoke about, so that's what I attracted. So by the time I was 17, I had almost been shot 3 times, and none of it was for me. It was always for the people I was with. But that's how my music put it. It wasn't like, oh, I almost get shot because I'm with niggas that be shooting. It was just like, nah, I handle my business. I don't bother nobody, but I'll let the lumber swing if I have to.
Yeah.
You know, I stand my ground, but at the same time, I'm in these environments. This is where I'm from. This is what I do. This is what I represent. And just like my music and my words was teetering on the edge of death, so was my life. Not even saying just rap music, just my content and the words that I was using. Like,
so you felt like the words you was using in the songs was kind of manifesting your reality, meaning you was bringing to life the shit you was rapping about.
Because my life wasn't like that before I started rapping about it. I started rapping when I was 12. Really started getting into it when I was 13. And that's when I hopped off the porch. And that's when all the shit started happening. You know what I mean?
So
like,
how many strikes was it before you realized, like, you know what, like, I guess I should say, did you know at the time you was manifesting those kind of responses back to like the music and like the words you was using while you were putting it out, or do you feel like, or do you think like that was something that happened like once you start putting out in a better manner, then you kind of realize like?
Well, once I started realizing that I was pretty much unconsciously or subconsciously dictating, attracting, or creating my life, I started thinking about my past and things that I would do, because I'm very observant. I pay attention to everything, so I just started thinking about my past. And from when I was younger, I was always very conscious, and I'm just like, oh shit, like when you're younger, you're a blank slate. You don't really have that much in you, so you have you attract what you want all the time, even if you gotta cry for fucking 20 minutes to get it. You're gonna get what you want.
Yeah.
That's all that you focused on, is what you want. And if you can't get it, is because somebody is stopping you from getting it. Like, that's the only thing that's gonna stop you from getting it. So I started applying that, and I'm just like, okay, you get older, your vessel gets filled with more, your mind gets filled with more. You believe in things, you think you believe in things, you feel things, you have traumas, you have things that block your energy or that redirect your energy, you know what I mean? So I just started thinking about things like that, and I'm just like, okay, I've almost always had what I wanted. It was just my internal blocks made it so that it wasn't exactly how I envisioned it.
Yeah.
It was always a little bit off. You know what I mean? Because I didn't have clear vision. I didn't even know who I was at that point.
And this was what age in your life?
16.
16.
16 going into 17. Then 17, that's when I start. That's when, because then now I start hitting a different level of awareness. And it's just like anything else in life. If when you hop off the porch, your friends got a choice. I'm either gonna hop off the porch with this nigga, I'm gonna ignore what he doing or turn a blind eye to it, or I'm not gonna fuck with him. Whether they're aware of it or you're aware of it, everybody got a choice. I'm either fucking with this or I'm not.
Yeah.
And how they react to it varies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like at that age, I wasn't aware at the time, but even now, older in hindsight, I'm just realizing people falling out of my life. I'm just like, oh, I don't know what's happening. You know what I mean? Like, it's less and less people in my life, but the people become more valuable. Okay. But then even over time, even those people fall out, and it's just like, I'm just hitting different levels of awareness, different levels of like, okay, I can handle this now. Like, for example, like, I went over my girl crib, right? Like, when I first started messing with my girl, and I ain't come from a good family. So I couldn't stand being in that environment because there was so many triggers, so much trauma, so much stuff that I never could have, that I didn't believe was real, was possible. So much internal conflict that I had based on my life relative to this person's life that I couldn't even be in that environment. Like, I would cry. I would just be conflicted. You know what I mean? I would be angry. Like, I'd be just ready to fuck some shit up. But the more I had just be in that environment, get that example, get that feel for shit, just like anything else, yo. I just had to tough through that shit.
So when you first started going over there, did it make you feel a certain type of way?
I couldn't stay over there for more than 15 minutes.
Okay.
I couldn't, because then on top of that, you dealing with that, and then now we not even used to dealing with emotions. Now that's something else right there. Now you crying in front of people and you can't help but to cry. You gotta hold that shit. Now you upset about that, or you feel a certain way about that, or you think it's so much shit.
That's one thing you become more mindful of once you become more aware, you know what I'm saying, and like more spiritually connected with yourself. We all got emotions, you know what I'm saying? That's what makes us human. So for us being brought up as boys to men, you know what I'm saying, we being taught to hide that shit, tuck it away, throw that shit away, put it somewhere else, you know what I'm saying? Don't show that shit unless you fucking using it like on the football field, basketball court, you know what I'm saying? Like some shit like that, but
yeah, man. And I mean, like that's a couple of, I mean, blocks can be different things for different people, but that's a couple of examples of some blocks that I had when it came to manifesting. You know what I mean? Just those, I wasn't even conscious of that.
So that was like on the downside. So like on the upside, when you became aware of manifestation and like how you utilize your energy, what was the situation that happened that made you be like, yo, I just made this happen. I know I just made this happen. Like,
well, the music, it's a long journey, man. I mean, just like in life, man, like it's a long journey, and it began in 2012. Really, the spark of it was a book called The Power of Now. Everybody should go check that shit out. The Power of Now. And that's where I sparked Chino Bliss from, affirmations. I learned that your internal dialogue, even though it's quiet or if it's loud, is so much more repetitive. Even as dudes, we so used to getting rejected opposed to a woman getting accepted or sought after that we just so used to negative shit. We just so used to, we just look at people and feel like they don't even want us to look at them.
yeah.
You get what I mean? So like, you gotta counteract all of that shit by like 3 or 4 times just to get back to normal. And then you gotta work. So like, I started this shit in 2012. It's about 8 years later, you know what I mean? And I'm just getting to a point where manifesting to me is, I wake up daily and no matter how I feel, I might wake up and I might be like, all right, man, I gotta chill. But that's part of manifesting too, because I need to rest, I need to recharge.
Yeah.
But it took a while of me just waking up and feeling like, damn, I can create anything. I want to do everything right now, and me not being satisfied with the timing of it. Because that's really what everybody always upset about, how fast some shit happens. And that's the biggest thing, because it's never going to be, unless you God, you ain't never going to be no master manifester. Unless you're doing some shit that lacks integrity. Like acting like you're doing some shit. And,
I think the only thing with mastering it is that we still operating within this system. So we still are having a hard time even being ourselves 100,000%, you know what I'm saying? Like even with us figuring out who we are, we still in a system. So we still conforming and maneuvering with this system to a certain extent, which don't really correlate with the fuck we really want to do or how we feel, but we know that this is something we got to do.
When you say system, what are you speaking of specifically?
System as far as what we live in now, the structure, the government, this business that we are a part of, these social security numbers, these identity cards they give us, these IDs, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this not how life was until they structured it this way. You know what I'm saying?
And when you say
they meaning the people in charge.
Okay.
We can point to a color, but I don't really feel like it's a color. I feel like it's an energy. You know what I'm saying? That's why celebs and shit, they don't really discriminate as far as like what color, you know what I'm saying? It's more so based on if you possess that energy that's on their team. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so, and I'm glad you said this. When it comes to manifesting positive in a positive way, the most effective way, intent, your intent has to be pure.
I agree.
And your clarity. Like when I be like, what do you mean by that? Like people are afraid to ask questions. People need to be super duper specific. We could say we got slang for words that mean regular shit. You gotta ask people what they mean, you know what I mean?
What's
and you
crazy
gotta be specific with what you say.
When you say that, what's crazy is I had an example in my life, which was kind of recent, but not really recent. You know what I'm saying? That I used to talk to my brother, my big brother, all the time about like getting something set up to where, you know, just kind of pushing the brand out a little bit more. I used to talk to him about how we could set up a situation to kind of go viral, whether we going through like Instagram or like using some dancers, like some kids routines, or like get some regular Instagram thoughts and let them dance.
Shit, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just to get the shit to go viral. I used to think about that shit and talk to him about it all the fucking time. First joint went viral was the Young Dolph joint. They did a challenge to the Young Dolph That's Major challenge. I was like, oh shit. I thought about this. I put my energy into this.
Yep.
It happened. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't specific how I wanted to go viral.
Exactly.
And then I was still thinking about going viral and I wasn't specific. And then that's when the Tatiana joint went viral. And that shit went super viral. But I wasn't specific as far as how I wanted to go viral. So I felt like I also manifested that.
How did Tatiana go viral though? How did it go viral?
It went viral just from fucking Nicki Minaj wanting to do a remix to the song to get at somebody. And I just happened to put that joint on YouTube. Blueface had did the joint, and then I had did the remake that same day. That's when I was just trying to figure out how to get into the YouTube algorithms, you know what I'm saying? So I was just doing beat remakes just to see if I could wiggle in there, you know what I'm saying? Then once I did, I kind of chilled out on that shit because I already know they finesse game is crazy. That's all I'm gonna say is they finesse game is crazy. Let me tell you, that shit did. But yeah, but then that shit went viral. So I was just thinking like, yo, like, I only been doing this 5 years. No, I didn't get full credit for it, but it's still my producer tag on the song, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't reach out to the bitch Nicki or none of them, you know. See that Hacho, the Soulja Boy, like Young Ma got a fire version of this shit, DDG, like it's so many that
let them know, be specific. That's what I'm talking about. Let them know. Cause they like, oh, that's what he meant by went viral. Okay.
Yeah, so it was so many that was using it. What's crazy is people even did parodies of the joint and used the joint, you know what I'm saying? And you hear the tag in the joint clear as day. But the point was, I thought about it, I focused on it, I put a lot of energy into it. No, I wasn't really doing nothing physical towards it, but I was putting a lot of energy thinking about it in my inner space, you know what I'm saying? But I wasn't specific. I just knew that, yo, I'm just trying to touch this space just to get the music out a little bit more and get the name out, you know what I'm saying, and keep branding off a little bit. And it happened. Not the way I wanted it to happen, but it fucking happened. So that's why, that's one of the situations that make me mindful about the shit I focus my energy on, you know what I'm saying? Because once you start seeing that shit happen in your real life, you gonna know what kind of power you possess, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna know how real this shit is. Like, yeah, you still gonna have your shit you go through, but the shit is not gonna be the same. I still go through shit, but shit be so much smoother. Like, the hard times don't even hit the same way no more. Like, they hit, but they don't feel the same, you know what I'm saying?
They all become lessons.
Yeah. How would you say, Savage, that manifestation has affected your life? Or like when you start becoming more aware of manifesting?
Dealing with music around 2008 or 9. I take that back. I was making mixtape CDs back in like 2007, 8. Just downloading different shit and making them and just selling them, or people would come to me like, can you get this, that, and the third? And then it transitioned to using programs, just rapping for fun, doing something with my cousins as a group. We just did it for fun, never put it out. And then stopped about 2014, end of 2016, going in 17, started making beats.
Yeah, that's when I remember you. That's in my mind when you began to stamp yourself.
It was like
about the end of 2016, beginning of 2017, and ain't stopped a lick since.
What's crazy is we started following each other on Facebook and the gram.
Facts.
Didn't even reach out to each other or nothing. We just following each other, and then we fucking, where the fuck did we link at? Was it Prospect?
Yeah.
We linked over there in person, and then from there we got the emails exchanged because we got the vibe in person. You're like, oh shit, I already got you up there. That nigga, I got you up there. Oh shit.
It just clicked from there.
He sent some shit through. We start finessing some shit. Now, we always open a collab. All of us.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. That's what we do. But as far as like manifesting, like, how did you apply it into like the music? How did it work for you? Was it like, you said you got the program, so when you started doing mixtapes, was you just thinking like, yo, how else can I dig in a little bit deeper, or did somebody else do it and it was like, yo,
Nah, I wanted to dig in deeper. Cause then it's like, I would listen to shit while rappers was rapping, but I'm thinking shit in my head. So it's like, I know I can't rap, but like this shit sound fire to me in my head. It might not sound fire to nobody else, but fuck it, it's fire to me. So then we started rapping. It was fun while it lasted.
He was like, it was.
Cause niggas had fun with that shit, and that's all it was about. And niggas, like when we did it, we put our full energy and attention into it every time. And then once we stopped that, it was like, want no more making mix CDs for people because iTunes was out by then. So it was like, it's something else. It was like, I still want to do something with music, but what?
Yeah.
So then it was like, fuck it, I want to learn how to start making beats. And after that, it was a rap. That's what I put my focus into now, the beats.
So before you started the beats, did you already have like Savage the brand, or was that something that started with the beats?
That no, I didn't have Savage the brand. It started with the beats. Shit. Different nicknames from different people, different shit. So I just took the whole Savage thing and incorporated it towards music though. So saying like, my beats is Savage. Cause you can take Savage and it can mean anything. But to me, it mean my beats are Savage. Like, they started off iffy, but then as I started learning stuff, started putting more focus into it, they started sounding better and better.
Yeah, I feel that.
And when you say Savage, do you mean they sound hard? Like, you know how you hear some beats like, oh, that's raw. You hear some beats you like, oh, that's your swag.
Yeah.
Or do you mean like you in general, your ability to make beats is just savage?
Both.
Okay.
Cause my ability to take different sounds on beats I made, to me that was like some Savage shit. Cause a lot of people don't do or make beats how I do them. And then on the other note, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I know the process. So so like, we all incorporated like manifestation into music, but could you name me, Chino? Could you name me an example of how you incorporated the manifestation in your life, like in your everyday life, where you can, get a people example?
Yeah, man. So that book, The Power of Now, man, founded in 2012, the affirmations, I start counteracting things, deprogramming old programs, starting to be conscious of everything that I think, feel, or believe might not be my thoughts, feelings, or beliefs. Then I had to start dissecting through all of those thoughts, feelings, and beliefs, but not just all randomly, just whenever they come as they come. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that takes a very long time, you know, because then you're still living, so shit is still happening to you. So you're working through old shit while maintaining your regular life and handling whatever's happening. So it you know, sometimes you might feel like you sidetracked, sometimes you might be sidetracked. But the thing that it did for me was, all right, I was like, okay, I feel like I got some bad programming. I feel like I'm not in control. All right, I feel like this seems like it can help, so let me implement it. And that's where the affirmation, that's where Chino Bliss came from. Because it's like, I know my energy is chi, no, like, yeah, I spell it C-H-E, but chi is your energy, and N-O, of course it's not K-N-O, but it just is, I wanted it to make it more aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, like
so it's
flow.
Chino Bliss, yeah, so it's like, I know my energy. And it's also just like,
he put the no on there to make it blissful.
Yeah, and also, this is a thing too, because it's just like I said, I grew up very detached. So like, people might be like, "Yo, you ain't black if you do this," and I'm over here like, whatever, nigga. You know what I mean? Like, I do what I feel like doing. So it's just like,
I feel like we was all programmed that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, especially people like you and I, all of us, with black and brown people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They got different programs for different cultures, but it's a program for sure.
But working through that shit, man, I'm still working through it. I think it's something that keeps going, and you learn how to manage things better and get to better places. And the more you get to better places, you've never been there, so you don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
But you know it's better.
So I think in short terms, like what I call at the end of it is like, you're not afraid of the unknown anymore.
Man, I'm trying to tell you, bro. Them 3 times I said I've almost died in about 5 times that I could think of off the top of my head in my life. So it's just like I just felt like it was over so many times that and then you walk outside, you black. You don't even gotta do nothing. You could almost die anytime. I think a lot of us don't have fear that we just don't want to die painful.
Yeah.
That's what I know. And I want my people to know what happened to them.
Nah, I think some.
You know what I mean?
think some is afraid. I think some is.
I mean,
afraid.
yeah.
Because we kind of are programmed, especially with like the movies and like how we wasn't taught death or what happens when the fuck we go. We just see it in movies, and then when it happens in real life, when you're young, you just get a short, brief description. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna be real, man. I don't know. I don't believe anybody knows anything. It's all second, third, fourth hand knowledge, whatever. Nobody knows nothing. We weird as fuck. We piss out of holes, we see out of holes, we hear out of holes, we eat shit, we eat other animals, we might eat some grass or some fruit. Like, it's just weird. We make babies. That's to me, when I'm having a baby, I'm like, this is like a clone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit, you could do this with anything. You take the egg, you put whatever, as long as you know the science, you know what I mean? You know the temperature.
Yeah.
You know what I'm like? I'm just like, okay, man, this shit is all right. It just expands your mind, and you just start to be like, shit is not. It's not even about, like you said, it's an energy. It's not even about a color or who's in charge.
Yeah.
Even though the people in charge seem to be a certain color.
Yeah.
That's just like I said. It seems the way on the surface, but it's the other way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I can agree with that. So how would you feel like you applied manifestation into your everyday life?
Not even gonna lie, I haven't started like that yet, but I'm starting to.
Yo, like, I'm very proud that you were balanced enough to be able to say that on a camera.
Yeah.
Like, for real. Most people would just keep talking.
Too shy away from it?
Yeah, like, because I wanted to
start
actually.
it. Like, don't get me wrong, when like you link certain people post shit, I be looking into it, but I haven't just started it.
Yeah.
So once I started, then I can definitely give more insight on that.
Bruh, like I appreciate that. My respect for you as a man just grew so much more immensely. The truth does that, yo. Just people even if they don't like you, they respect you.
A real one will.
Yeah.
A real one will. You know what I'm saying?
I think everybody, bro.
Yeah.
Even if they don't got the heart to stand on it, like
Yeah.
they can't help to be like, ooh, this nigga here. But when niggas say something about him, I can't help. What can I say? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's a bunch of people that don't like us but can't say nothing just because we just respect it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In a real sense, not a street sense, and in a street sense. But it don't even, like we said, that's all perspective. Like, and that's another thing. Everything is perspective too. That's why you gotta ask people what they mean. You know what I mean?
And I feel like once again that only becomes the way life has shifted to, because it's like we communicate with babies nonverbal. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like everything you about to do with your mini is nonverbal. That used to be a form of language. You know what I'm saying?
Like people still got it. Something happened, we be like.
Yo, I used to be in New York when I used to be in New York City, nigga. I be on the train and a nigga see a random nigga see a joint with a fat ass, and I just be across the way and he just look because he got caught looking at that joint. He be like, just look at me. Then you got hit to look back like, nigga, like.
That's all I seen that.
But that used to be the whole lingo, you know what I'm saying, was no talk, you know what I'm saying? It was just whatever sounds you would make at the time, just grunts and groans. You can kind of imagine that being it before it came to us breaking it down to actual words, you know what I'm saying? We was made way more intellectual. I feel like when we came here, we was way more intellectual and got dumbed down. I don't feel like we was like dumb, got intellectual, and then got dumb again.
I believe
it could have been anything. This is all perspective. We can scratch all of this shit. You know what I'm saying?
And part of what I was about to say is, I don't know if y'all ever heard, like Bruce Lee, he was just like, his style is he takes from the best styles and formulates his own style. I feel like that's what everyone does.
And we grew up on Bruce Lee.
Yeah, Chinese, almost anything, Japanese, martial arts, but that's the philosophy that I adopt. It's like, it don't matter where I got the knowledge. If that shit hit my spirit, then it's real, and I believe it. To me, our perspective as black and brown people seem not to matter in the mainstream media about the way we're being killed at will every day. Our death is monetized. From anything from, our kids being like the Planned Parenthood thing and like high abortion rates in our communities, us killing ourselves a lot in our communities, and by the way, people kill who they live close to. It's not just black on black or whatever, it's whoever you live close to for the most part. But even things like that, how we perceive people that look like us that are successful, especially if they come from the same area or we went to the same schools or we came from the same bases. Just things like that affect
your thought process, really.
Your thought process when it comes to manifesting and everything. Because
a lot of people, like what you're saying that, and where it was taking me was like, it's always like weird trying to get these words together for y'all to make sure that this shit is all the way right.
Yeah, and at the same time, it's just like so many different people perceive. You have to be able to say things. It's just like mainstream media. They cater to the easiest audience to talk to. We are catering to a deeper audience. So you might have to fish sometimes to find exactly what you want to say in the right way so that it comes across the correct way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I was trying to fish just now, and I got stuck while I was trying to fish. But what I was trying to say was, I think it comes down to people needing to understand or have a real definition of success as well. You know what I'm saying? Because if you were saying like, we'd seen all these successful people, but if that's not successful in my eyes, or if I didn't see that in life, you know what I'm saying, or to somebody who didn't, that wouldn't be successful to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, take somebody who we say successful in America and the Western world and take them outside the Western world. People wouldn't look at them like they successful. You know what I'm saying? They would just look at them like they're from a different culture.
And that also perspective, like somebody, if you only, before I went to Africa, man, like I went to Africa, bro, and it is just all the stereotypes went away. Like I'm in a big crowd of people, mostly everybody black. Everybody seem like they're impoverished, but they'll give you the shirt off their back. You go into the club, you go into these parties, bro. It's like thousands of people on the same street, different clubs, same street. You don't gotta worry about nobody shooting. I said that to them. They looked at me like, we good. Like, you don't gotta worry about that. Just cover your drink so don't nobody drop nothing in your drink or do no voodoo on you or no shit like that. Don't pick up no change. But but that gave me perspective. Like, we was walking through a crowd. They was just like, he was like, hold my hand. I was like, what? He was like, hold my hand or you're gonna get lost. Somebody.
They start bumping.
They might. Somebody. You're American. Yeah. You better hold my hand or you might not make it back. So now it's a stereotype. I would never hold nobody's hand here. For what? Yeah. But I'm in Africa and I can't call home. I'm in Africa.
Different rules.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
motherfuckers will hold hands when they praying here, but you know what I'm saying? So it depends. That's what it all comes down to. Fucking perspective. If he willing to hold hands over there, there's no reason why it should be a crime over here or why anybody should be looked at weird. I mean, besides, not saying that I'm agreeing with weird shit going on with the alphabet community.
The intent of what you're doing.
But
matters.
Yeah.
Because when he said, I was like, what? I had to see what he meant. I was like, hold your hand. What are you, for what?
Because we raised in a different culture, so our mind, we already taught everything is sexualized. It don't matter if you like the opposite sex or the same sex, you know what I'm saying? It's being pushed extremely hard, you know what I'm saying? So they understand something about that shit that we don't, because they gonna push sex, but then they also push abortion, so it's...
A lot of that stuff, man, even going deeper, if you believe, like, I believe I'm a spiritual being. So, like, I believe this is my vessel. So, I believe I'm the whatever is in here looking outside of the body.
So, it's kind of like Men in Black. Yeah. Except not the ugly ass alien. I feel like the energy doesn't have a face, but you know how they take on human form bodies?
Yeah, I do. And even to take it even deeper, I put it like this. My grandmother has a skin condition, and for a while she wasn't comfortable being seen. So me being young, I adapted to being able to perceive somebody not wholly physical.
Yeah.
I know my grandma's energy. I know her spirit. That's my grandma. So, you know, church, stuff like that, and my mom, stuff like that got me into the spiritual. I can physically perceive like a spiritual being, like in a physical sense because of that. Because she was never comfortable with her physical appearance. So I always was feeding into her energy. So, like, I think of it more so even deeper than that. So it's just like, yeah, she's physical, but I look at who she is, like her essence. And that's kind of how I look at it more so than another physical being within a suit. You know what I mean? And even then it kind of, so like even real young, I've been trained to just, like I said, be detached. Because she was never, so I kind of like developed and learned that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that helps with manifesting too, because like.
But I think that's part of manifesting, and that's part of like the system doing their thing to force the families to separate. You know what I'm saying?
Without question. Without question.
So,
but all of this being conscious and stuff is part of breaking that cycle. Exactly. And manifesting. All of that is part of breaking that cycle.
So some people are even trying to use, like, connecting with yourself as its own religion, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like that's something we all are, so it don't even make sense. Like, I seen this video with KRS-One called, you can type it in anywhere, it's called Rockstar, you know what I'm saying? But he holds up like a little sticker that says Rockstar, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, when I count to 5, say this without moving your mouth, these lips right here, you know what I'm saying? So he counted to 5, everybody did it, said it, you know what I'm saying? So then he like, what voice was that just said that? You know what I'm saying? So he literally simplified it and started breaking it down for the audience as far as this voice being the vessel. The one that's constantly talking, that never shuts the fuck up, that everybody think they crazy because this voice is talking. That's you. It's supposed to. That's why this shit don't never shut the fuck up. So once you start connecting with yourself and understanding, oh shit, this is me. That's why I ain't shut the fuck up. And however old you are, you know what I'm saying? Because it never stops, you know what I'm saying?
And also being aware, like I said earlier, that there are billions, if not more than that, other beings around you. So you can also be picking up on something else that's somewhere else, because we're not physical, to me. So it's just like you gotta be aware with yourself and in tune with yourself enough to know, like, nah, that ain't me.
Yeah.
Like that what the fuck was that? Nah, brush that off. Don't even feed into that. Because people are conscious of this. Like, I'm conscious of this. I do it for myself. There are people who do it to people.
Yeah.
Send energy at people. Send curses at people. People are put into contracts from the words that they use because they're spells.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you put a spell together, you create something. That's just like writing some shit. You create a song, it's just like making a beat.
And then
It's a sequence of numbers, a sequence of whatever.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's the same thing.
And repetitiveness is what blends it in. So I feel like once you start learning manifesting, like, that kind of helps you figure out you. You know what I'm saying? I know it may not help you in the direction you want to go to. You still got to figure that part out as far as what you want to do if you don't know. But once you do know, you'll have a fucking straight GPS map to wherever the fuck you going. You know what I'm saying? You ain't going to have to ask Siri out loud because you already going to know within. You know what I'm saying? And we not going to know. You can describe it to us. You can put your blueprint down, but you going to know. You can give us the idea, you know what I'm saying? And we can fill it out, you know what I'm saying? But you going to know.
And by know, do you mean mentally or intuitively? Because I perceive what you're saying is intuitive.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like when you say that, because that comes down to, like, when you say that, it make me start thinking about, like time. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody will ask you, how long does it take to get over something? Like, you don't really know how long it's going to take, you know what I'm saying? Because there's something within. Now, as far as something on the exterior world and the 3D world, then yeah, you can put an actual stamp time on, like, hey, I'm going to have this physical paper to you by this physical date, you know what I'm saying? But if you're dealing with something energetically, it's hard to say, okay, I'm going to be over this shit in 3 days, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It don't work that way, but you'll feel it in here, you know what I'm saying, when you know. You just kind of know, you know what I'm saying?
And then you also start being aware once you start going through internal stuff, working on manifesting. It all kind of goes hand in hand once you realize what manifesting is. You start realizing that everything in your life you attracted, or it's only as good as you think you deserve. Everything. Even if you need money and you feel like, damn, I need money,
Yeah.
but I don't want to do whatever this task is it takes to need that it takes to get this money. You're gonna do the task anyway because you said you need money. You're gonna, whatever you got to deal with, you're gonna be conflicted with it until you realize, I'm valuable enough to get this money regardless. I don't have to do anything that's available. I'm gonna have it.
Yeah.
And you believe that you're that valuable.
And you already envision yourself with it or doing it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's going to be something that you think about constantly and putting your time and energy. Even if you at work, like, I know that's when I put a lot of time and energy into my business and, like, you know, just my plans for life and everything and what I wanted to do. Because I told myself that, hey, yeah, I'm working this job, but this is a bill job. You know, this shit right here pays bills. While I'm here, I'm going to utilize my time the best way I can for, you know what I'm saying, whether I'm researching or promoting, you know what I'm saying, or networking, you know what I'm saying. But I made sure I utilized that shit for more than what it was. Most shit is not going to come with benefits. So you got to create your own benefits.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying you got to do something against the system, which is quote unquote illegal, but you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, sometimes you gotta create your own benefits, you know what I'm saying? Listening to a video or something, or researching something while you on break, if you can't use your phone while you're working, that's not illegal, you know what I'm saying?
And when you say making, like, turning something into benefit, that goes into perspective. Because, like, somebody can be sitting here listening to this podcast and be like, man, these motherfuckers just sitting here just smoking and talking. Then somebody can be like somebody like me. I look at everybody that's talking as if they're me. So, because I want to understand myself, and I feel like everybody's a reflection of everyone else. So when I look at them like they're me and they say something that I feel like is out of line, I'll be like, would I say that? And then I'll be like, yep. How can I be mad at them? Yeah. Would I do that? How can I be? And even if I wouldn't do it, I'd be like, am I upset that they're doing it, or am I upset that I don't have the heart or the ability to not care enough to do it in front of people and not care what they think?
And I think why we draw that conclusion is because it's one universal law. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got the system laws, you know what I'm saying? But it's one universal law. You know what I'm saying?
And what do you say that is?
I don't specifically know, but I know it's like things like how we born. It's like things that we just know, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of kids, like my daughter's about to be 5, so I learn a lot from her. You know what I'm saying? I be in tune, like she way more at her purest form right now, you know what I'm saying? I know I still gotta fucking hip her to the system, but she gonna be more aware of what's really going on and who she really is, you know what I'm saying? She already meet the exterior, which she hear all the time, you know, you're beautiful, blah, 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 but I'm like, yo.
Superficial 3D world shit.
I'm like, that's cool, but, you know what I'm saying? We going a little bit deeper than that.
And I think.
But she knows, like, I had her on a table playing. I just sat her up there, you know what I'm saying? And she could look down and see that, oh, this is too far, you know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, I don't need somebody to tell me.
I know better.
Yeah, this shit is too far. Universal law is telling me, like, this shit is too far.
And also.
And you know when you do shit to people, whether you feel good or whether you feel guilty about it. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter if you got away with it or not.
Most, yeah, I say most. I about to say.
No, what I'm saying is universal law as far as like how we know.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? If you don't and you do your own thing, then I feel like that's some robotic shit. You know what I'm saying? And if you ain't got no feelings, then I feel like that make you not human.
That's fair. That's fair. I can say that's fair. I can say. And that's like intuition right there. It's like I can't refute it, so why would I try? And it's not like I researched it, but so I'm gonna stand by it. But I'm open enough to say that I'm neutral on that subject of what you just said. You know what I mean?
But that's intuitive. I ain't dig too deep either, but we all have feelings and we try not to feel, you know what I'm saying? We wear our shoes so we don't even feel the ground. Like they cover the ground up with gravel so then we don't even feel that shit, you know what I'm saying? Like everything that we supposed to be
to death.
Yeah, everything we supposed to be feeling and doing it's not going on right now.
I think when I ask you what do you believe the universal law is, and I'm not sure if you're conscious of it or not, but I think you answered it. Even because just through listening to you, you was just like, I teach my daughter this, I do it. And I was just like, past knowledge, past wisdom, past gain, whatever adjective people use for it, that's a different perspective.
Yeah, I get
but it's the same thing, like, that's what you're supposed to do so that people can do better and be better. You know what I mean?
It's like most kids is like, when they born, unless you neglect them, it's always good. You know what I'm saying? They always sharing, they always giving, and we gotta teach them. Look, y'all motherfuckers is not gonna give back. Like, stop giving your shit to them. Like,
and that's why when you said she was sitting on the table and knew it was too high, I was gonna say that's because you have been there to give her the knowledge and the wisdom that you don't need to be that high.
Nah, I just put her up there the first time.
She like, nah, she innately knew.
Yeah, it was like I had already been researching it. It did, like, when I research, I like to apply what I research to my everyday life for my real life experiences. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't give a fuck what a motherfucker tell me. Like, I want to experience it. If I don't experience it, then I need to feel it deep down in there. Like, the shit that might give you the goosebumps when you hear it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, oh, shit.
And you intuitively believe it.
Yeah, but I just sat her up there. Yeah, I was close to her, but she wasn't talking or walking. And I just sat up there. She looked at her. She was like, oh. Hey. Look, she started reaching. You know, I was right there with her, but she just knew instinctively. Like, I didn't have to say, hey, that's too high. Because you know how motherfuckers want to crawl around and do whatever. You know what I'm saying? And some people like, no, your kid is going to fall off. I don't know what you was doing with your kid. But my little energy, she knew better. Like,
You know, I'm a father to be.
yeah. So
I'm glad you said that. Everything I was saying is off second and third hand knowledge, not first hand knowledge. You know what I mean?
yeah, you gotta test the waters. Like,
You definitely gotta test them.
you gotta test the waters, man. They gonna go through their own trials and tribulations, but at least you can do is like give them many samples and obstacles and be there to support them, but not fucking do it for them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay, so I got a question for both of y'all. So Savage first. When it comes to being a father, when it comes to like, because you know when you have a daughter, you got to now provide for somebody else. You got to manifest money. You got to manifest a job. You got to manifest opportunity. You got to manifest protection, security. Like, how did having a daughter change your perspective and the way you moved from being an individual to now being a father?
Slowed me down a lot.
And what do you mean by slowed you down?
Cause yeah, it slowed me down a lot. It made me look at things different.
Like, what do you mean by that? Like,
do you feel like it
what's an
turned you
example?
down, or it shifted that energy to somewhere else?
Shifted to somewhere else. It's like now I gotta put more time and energy into my little one, my creation, more than what I could have did at first.
Do you feel like once she got here, that made you, when you say you slowed down, do you feel like when I say you shifted it, do you feel like you just turned up your music aspect more?
Yeah, definitely.
So it won't no slow down then.
Nah,
see,
see,
so this is where
so-
we come to with the language, and we have to get better at making sure we using the right words
Yeah.
with ourselves, and that we're not downplaying ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Because as long as we stay uplifting ourselves, we're gonna uplift everyone else around us.
Was your daughter born in like 2016? 2017?
Yeah.
That's when you stand
With the 6 on it.
But it's
Stand.
crazy because I was already planning on wanting to do beats before I even found out though. That was the wild part.
And then when you was like, all right, yo, I gotta do something.
Yeah.
Cause I'm fresh on this daddy scene. I'm getting as much advantage. Cause I mean, man, when it comes to manifesting, that's the purest form of manifesting to me. You made a life, bro. Like, you made a whole human life.
Yeah.
That's manifesting at its finest right there.
What's really manifested though is when that little spirit come out maneuvering like you do, because it got 2 shots, or actually 3. It can be a good blend, or it can be a good one of the other one.
Yeah.
But when that one come out maneuvering like you, and you want your shit, and you vibrating high, and you can put that motherfucker on. You ain't even gotta talk about generational wealth. You already know what time it is. Like,
Boy, I've been prepping.
you don't even have to talk about it. So that's where everybody should be like thinking about getting themselves to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know we all not there, and then some of us still growing and working through the process. But if you ain't got nothing else, focus your energy on. That's something worth thinking about.
And also, too, the bigger the thing you're trying to attract, the more energy is going to take to attract it. That's something very important to be said.
It is also means it's going to be more pull from that opposite energy. So you have to be prepared for the obstacles. Yo, bruh.
It's a lot.
Bruh.
It's a lot, but it's worth it. It's
Bruh,
worth
you
it.
talk about it
Like when
you already know the process. Like,
oh, I got my crystals, I got my incense, I got my altar. I even got to the point where I get my own paintings made of images of myself and different things, and I make my spirit the thing I give energy to, because I read on these other spirits, but it's only what, like I said, secondhand knowledge.
Yeah.
I'm the spirit. It's just like when you think of somebody who died, like with Tupac, Biggie, young, they put a whole lot of energy into their stuff. They should have been here for 20, 25 years. Lord knows how long it's going to live. Elvis, Sammy Davis, you think of all these people from black and white days. You know what I mean? They energy, they are spirits. They're gods to some people. My uncle named his child Elvis. He's black.
And the fucked up thing with that shit is like
my great uncle.
Like they all like. I ain't gonna say all of them because we know that Elvis used to steal music, but we all know that they was great talented people. But that's what the system do. They extort you for your talent. So anytime you go near them, just know that they're looking to extort you for your talents. So you can manifest some shit, but it might not be in the way you want it to go if you're not fucking with the right energy. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make sure you following that right vibration down that line.
Yeah, and working through your internal stuff helps you be specific and aware enough to know what to ask for, how to ask for it, and if somebody trying to give you something unfair, you know what I mean?
And we just talking about the upside, you know what I'm saying? We didn't even touch on the downside, you know, about how people focus their energy in a not so good place, you know what I'm saying? And they end up manifesting everything that they've been thinking about and focusing their energy on, you know what I'm saying? So people don't, once you start understanding manifesting, like, then that'll start to make a little bit more sense to you, and then it'll keep you from going in that loop.
And a quick overview for that is, if it's something that you don't like, don't agree with, make it not exist. It can still be there physically, it don't exist. You know how some people look at you and you don't exist? Some people look at me and I don't exist, same concept. You look at some people, they just don't exist to you. They just there. You just like, oh yeah, I mean, I know them, but I mean, that's how you. That's how you do it.
You don't put no energy into it.
No dislike energy, no like, no neutral, nothing.
And if you happen to put some energy on it, you just make sure it's as little as possible. You know what I'm saying? Like fairy dust. Like I was not trying to leave a whole bunch of energy over here. I just, I brushed past it and I kept moving.
Treat it like a fart. Just, oh shit, I ain't mean to do that. Just let it blow away.
But that is a bad side of, you know what I'm saying, manifesting, because we all can think of some situations where we knew we didn't want some shit to happen, and then that shit fucking happened. It don't matter if it was from playing the sports and you didn't want to fucking trick up the game, you know what I'm saying, or whether it was some shit where you was just taking a ride and hoping you ain't get pulled over and you got pulled the fuck over. You know what I'm saying? Like you spent too much energy thinking about it. So when it crosses your brain, you have to shift it right away. So as soon as you be like, yo, I hope I don't get pulled over, it'll be like, yo, all right, well, I do want to get some food or something. Whatever you could shift it over to, you know what I'm saying? But you're going to have to take it out of that space, because then you're more susceptible to allowing that shit in your life.
Indeed.
So I can name a few situations where I done had that shit happen too. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, like, and that was part of the book of The Power Now, man. Like, it helped me to be aware that most people say what they don't want. And we can think of so many examples. Even when you hungry, you be like, I don't want this. I don't want that. I don't want that. Like, shit, I don't want no chick like this. Like, we always say what we don't want. We look at a situation and we look at what we're trying to avoid first. Because that's the easiest thing to run into. You know what I mean? Seemingly. Until you correct yourself and you start attracting it. Because I'm Chino Bliss. I run into blissful stuff all the time. But it took, and that was believable, right? Like, but it took, like I said, from 2012 and all them steps, all this work, I work every single day. Like, I still go through shit. I got mad anxiety. But it's just a part of who I am, and I transmute that dark energy.
And when you say that, what do you mean?
Like, for instance, I would say that the easiest comparison I would have was like when your parents or your grandparents say or do something to you. What you gonna do? You gonna harbor that shit against them? Like, nah, you gotta transmute that shit somehow. You better figure it out. That's what I mean. Like, the same way Trak was like, yo, I had to bite my tongue. Like, I don't know. I think he literally bit his tongue.
Yeah,
I think he literally bit down on his tongue. And I saw it when he said it, because I was just like, you had to literally, not figuratively, bite your tongue literally, because you was about to fuck yourself up by trying to fuck him up.
Thanks.
Like, but that's what I mean by transmuted. Like, you, same way like with your daughter, like when you just be like, yo, she pissed me off, take a picture and transmute it into love, rather than being upset about that shit. You know what I mean? Like, frustrated because you like, yo, this is my baby. Like, this is how you learn. This is just, It's how it goes.
So how do you get people to that space that don't feel like they have a space to transmute or transfer that energy to?
Well, you gotta care about them enough to be able to stay by their side in some capacity for a length of time, because you're not gonna know how long it's gonna take, and really, it's probably gonna happen once you detach from the situation. Like, you really just planting the seed, just like that's all you doing.
So do you still put in the effort even if they're not putting in the effort, or do they have to be applying the effort as well?
You have to know when. You gotta know when to release that dark energy too. The same way when your daughter or your kid do something and you just like, you let it go. However it's let go, you gotta let it go on that adult too. No matter if it's your mother, your grandma, you gotta let it go. You gotta let it go raw. You gotta let it go. Because you got to let them see what you've been going through and what you've been going through, trying to help them go through some shit. And now that you just like, this is the state that you're putting me in while I'm sitting here looking okay. You know what I mean? And even this, like I got shit. It's part of, you need dark energy and light energy to create anything. You can't just have one anything, and nothing grows in peace. All growth comes in chaos. Like, ain't nobody trying to fix nothing when everything all good. You know what I mean? Yeah. So sometimes you gotta let them know, hey, shit ain't all good. I know I'm Chino Bliss and all of that, but what's the other side of that? Like I said, whatever people put on the surface, they're the opposite. I'm the same way. I'm a very dark being. Just like you're a very dark being. Just like you're a very dark being. Everybody was like, the darkness show? Like, yeah.
But the thing is, you have to know how to use that darkness.
Yes, exactly.
We aren't taught how to use this energy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We call it angry or upset, but we all know when that temperature start rising and that heart start beating and that rage start coming. That's what we call it. That's what the motherfuckers feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't know how to use it, so we just did whatever the fuck we felt. And if it was wrong, our parents or somebody told us, hey, that shit's wrong. Don't do that, or don't break that, or don't hit that, or don't do that, don't sit there, don't do that. Like,
you know what I learned to do, yo? Like I'm doing now. I focus it all through my eyes. Whenever I'm going through some shit and I look at somebody, I look dead in their face, and I don't stop looking them in their face. And I don't even be trying to threaten them. I just be letting that energy come all through my eyes, just to be like, you can't match this. I'm not even trying to challenge you, but you can't. You know what I mean? Like, and y'all, I can tell y'all feel what I'm coming from, but that's how when they really come down to it, and if I gotta let it out verbally, it's coming out. But I try to give it to you through the eyes first, man. And people tell me, like, you be staring a hole through motherfuckers, yo.
I try to give it to you verbally first, because for me, that's the light hand. Like, I used to be a physical person, so now it's like
the verbal.
Now it's like, chill, nigga, chill. You want grown, you step up. You already know how far you will take it. You know what I'm saying? But right now, you got another solution that you could try before it gets there, you know what I'm saying?
That sound like the dude that put hands on people. I'm gonna try to talk to you, okay? Yes.
Yo.
That's what it's. Yes.
Yo. I'm trying to tell you, like,
you don't even know what's coming with him. He just be like.
You don't have to carry like you the biggest, baddest motherfucker, or the smallest, strongest motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But the energy is there. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, and that's when it comes to transmuting that dark energy, because that's an example of what it really is. It's that, like you said, I put hands, but I'm trying to talk to you. I'm trying to focus on my energy through my eyes, so I don't put hands on you or say this shit that's really because it's not gonna be something that's just gonna hurt your feelings. It's gonna be true, and it's gonna hurt your feelings.
I think that's facts, and I think the true strength comes in when it's like you live that life or you know that life, and we all taught that life through TV and social media, the form of manipulation, you know what I'm saying? That's almost like our first form of communication. That's why we always question everything that somebody says. Like, why somebody really has to show you that they're an honest person. You can't just believe them right off bat, because that's not how we taught how to communicate, you know what I'm saying?
And like you said, manipulation, you realize that I got to a point I thought everything was manipulation. Then I realized it's not. Everything is a trade. It's trade and barter. Whether I want your attention, whether I want your love, whether I want you to be comfortable, and I want to feel like I gave it to you. Whatever it is, whether I want some pussy, whether I want some, whatever it is, some money, it's a trade and barter. And I just have to make sure the exchange is fair. That's all. I got to make sure you know what I'm offering, I want what you're offering, and we good on what we get. For real. That's that, because everybody's trading something. You know what I mean?
But I feel like the real strength is like when you don't use those tricks that you know you could use. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you know your competitor and you know you could fucking juke this way or juke that way to trick them instead of going straight up, or you could stab somebody and slide and not get caught. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like the true strength is when you're not using those tactics anymore. You know what I'm saying? They kind of hard to get away from because we all taught it. But I feel like that's the true strength because we all know these things.
Yeah. No, that is very hard.
People can play stupid, but we all know these things. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the true strength is when you aren't using those tactics anymore. You know what I'm saying? And you put some real principles and morals in place to start standing on.
I agree, man. That is hard. That's a big part of deprogramming and knowing.
I was just about to say that. That's when all the deprogramming started.
Mm-hmm.
Cause now it's like whether you do shit or not, like once you at that spiritual place, you're gonna feel guilty if you do something that's not genuine. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You're gonna feel it. It's no ifs, ands, or buts. But if you're not at that place, you're gonna give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? But if you there, you're gonna know the difference. You're gonna feel it.
There's also times that you won't give a fuck regardless.
Yeah, but you know you have every right to not give a fuck because there was circumstances and communication that was put up front, you know what I'm saying, that just wasn't heard, listened to, wanted to be passed by or whatever, you know what I'm saying.
And as well, sometimes things are necessary to happen regardless of if you want them to or not. They just have to happen, no matter how uncomfortable you are, no matter how hard it's gonna be for you or somebody else. It's just necessary. It's just necessary in order for whatever it may be. It's just necessary to happen, whether it be somebody's growth, whether it be your safety and security, so you don't do something to somebody or somebody do something to you. It's just certain shit that you just have to do, no matter how much you don't want to or don't feel like doing it or don't think you should. You know that you have to. You know what I mean?
I agree. I think that's kind of what got us all in that place where we at today. As far as the system, like we've been saying we've been strong, but we just been moving in the system. Like it's been a lot of shit going on and nobody's really standing. It's people in place that's like starting to stand more, you know what I'm saying, that's starting to stamp it more, but like as far as standing, as far as like, when I mean standing, I mean like, I'm not talking about like big people, I'm talking about regular people. Like, how many times you gotta watch somebody get their ass whooped or a cop kill somebody before you decide to step in without the fucking camera and do something?
I think people scared to die alone, bro. Like,
I don't think
they like, it's like no matter what happens, if it's on camera, if it's justified, if it's not, like, you know, like we might be a little less scared of death, maybe. Us three sitting here, maybe, who knows? But I'm just saying, like, when it comes to really putting your life on the line for real, like you standing here, like we sitting right here, and it's like, yo, I gotta put my life on the line right now. Niggas be like, yo, but I gotta go to work tomorrow. I got a baby.
Nah, I done been been in positions where I done it. So I'm blessed to say that I'm still here. You know what I'm saying? But I know that I'm gonna stand when it's time. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of the situation, it just so happens the ones I have been standing for, I'm still here. You know what I'm saying? So
I agree.
But you gotta take them chances and them risks. Either way, we all gotta go. So it's like, you can duck it and stretch it and avoid it, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, why not stand for something now opposed from having some weird health issues hit you like 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the line, you know what I'm saying? And be like, damn, I should have stood for this cause. And you can see how life is shifting. Everything is shifting right now.
it's the live for something, die for nothing philosophy. You gotta live for something, or you just die nothing. You live on your feet, or you die on your knees. Like, get down or lay down. This is all of it is the same shit, different words, different perspective. It's just like what you gonna do. You gonna live a life that you believe is quality, or you gonna live a subservient life of whoever subjects you to whatever, whoever says you have to do this or do that. And that's something that you got to choose for yourself, because your family might be like, shit, we don't want to look like that. And you might be like, shit, I mean, I'm good. I don't even go outside like that. Like, and that might not be something everybody agree with. Everybody might want you to vote. You might be like, bro, people been trying to vote for X amount of years, bro. Like, I don't believe in that. You know, you might believe in Trump. Whatever. It's just like, you have to know what you believe in and stand by it no matter what anybody says, and create your own reality. And live in your own reality. That's how you create your own world.
But it all starts with your belief system.
Yes.
It all starts with what you believe in. Everything. What you're just saying, it all starts with what you believe in. It comes down to what the fuck do you believe in. So you gotta make sure you believe in and following the right things.
Or how open-minded you are as well. Because you can believe, you don't have to, you can believe things of the stories of the Bible, of the stories of the Quran, but you don't have to be a Christian. You know what I mean? You don't have to practice Islam. You can just gain the knowledge. You know what I mean? And apply it.
You can apply it to as far as even the TV shows you watch to believe.
Cartoons have a whole lot of knowledge in them, bro. Cartoons have the most knowledge. Cartoons and stand-up comedy have the most knowledge and truth of anything that I know. And TikTok. For real, bro.
I still ain't fuck with TikTok.
Yeah. Like that shit, you just scroll through, bro. You get these 1 minute clips. You see all of this different knowledge pertaining, and you know algorithms tap in. So then you start seeing stuff that only pertains to the stuff that you think and believe in. Then it goes deeper and deeper, and then you just start researching stuff yourself. That's how like you see it go. Then you just like okay. But that's how you have depth as a person and depth as a character. You just be open to stuff, and you be like, oh yeah, I heard about that. What you know about it? That's how you gain friends and relationships. You know what I mean? Gain fans, because people be like, oh man, I'm into that shit. I heard Savage talk about that shit. It's that Savage shit. This beat's hard too.
That's why I always research, man. That learning shit, knowledge. It's so much shit that you can communicate about outside of what they showed us on the TVs. You know what I'm saying? That's more useful and resourceful information. So it's like we just speaking on as far as manifestation and throwing some other information out there for y'all, but as far as like anything else, you know what I'm saying, like whatever question you got, ask it or research it. You know what I'm saying? Look it up. Don't just sit around and let that shit go unsolved. You know what I'm saying? Anytime I think of something, that's the first thing I do is type it in. Me specifically, I fuck with YouTube over Google because I feel like Google is from one source, you know what I'm saying, whether it's computer robots or one corporation, it's one mind together running that, and at least YouTube is one company running the platform, but it's millions of brains all through the network, you know what I'm saying?
And to add something that people may want to look into or think about themselves, your stomach and your mind are connected. Your stomach's like your second brain, or maybe it's connected to your brain, maybe it's all one thing. So it's like what you eat, it can also interfere with your energy, it can also interfere with your mind, you know what I mean? So you got to be conscious of what you eat, what works with your own body, because people's bodies are different somewhat, but you know, just eat better, eat healthier, drink more water, cut the sugars out,
as
dairy
much
and
as
stuff.
possible. The sugars is going to be hard, but as much as possible. So we all got drugged with it. But on that note, we getting ready to wind this thing up. You know what I'm saying? Chino, let everybody know what's up with you. Give them handles where they can find you and your music.
Chino Bliss, all networks. Chino Bliss Pandora, Chino Bliss Spotify, Chino Bliss Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you can think of, bruh. Title. It's ridiculous. Type it into Google, bruh. I also got this project coming up. It's a quantum physics, the atoms theory. That's my first and last name. I'm getting the artwork painted now. this artist in California. She's a fabulous artist. So I'm gonna do a surprise release on that. So stay tuned, cuz.
Hey, Savage, you wanna let the people know what's up?
I got shit like three projects I'm working on. Savage Life 2, Tales from the East Side 2, and this big project I'm trying to drop by the end of the year called The Commonwealth. It's all Virginia artists on it from everywhere. So be in tune for that.
Working. Y'all already know the time it is. TrakBeatz, social media is fucking everywhere. Google, it don't fucking matter. And that's the TrakWolf Godcast.
Hey.